The world stage is fraught with tension, a palpable sense of unease that permeates every corner of the globe. From the battlefields of Ukraine, where the echoes of artillery fire and the cries of displaced families paint a grim picture of modern warfare, to the simmering disputes in the South China Sea, where military ships patrol contested waters and nations vie for dominance, conflict seems to be the prevailing theme of our time. The specter of a Third World War, once a distant nightmare relegated to the annals of history, now haunts the headlines and whispers of policymakers, casting a long shadow over international relations. Are we truly on the brink of a global conflagration, or are these isolated incidents manageable through diplomacy and international cooperation? The question looms large, demanding our attention and action. This video will delve into the complex web of global conflicts, examining the potential for escalation and the forces driving these dangerous trends. We will explore the historical context, current dynamics, and future implications of these conflicts. The world has rarely been free from conflict. Throughout history, humanity has been embroiled in wars and disputes, each leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of our societies. History is replete with examples of nations clashing over territory, resources, and ideology. These age-old motivations continue to drive modern conflicts, albeit in new and complex ways. However, the current geopolitical landscape presents a unique set of challenges. The stakes are higher, the players more numerous, and the consequences potentially more devastating. The rise of new powers, the proliferation of advanced weaponry, and the interconnectedness of the global economy create a volatile mix. Nations are more interdependent than ever, yet this interdependence can also be a source of friction. A spark in one corner of the world can quickly ignite a firestorm across the globe, as local conflicts have the potential to escalate into broader confrontations. Understanding these interconnected risks is crucial to navigating the treacherous path ahead. By examining the root causes and potential solutions, we can better prepare for the challenges that lie in wait.
The war in Ukraine, sparked by Russia's invasion in February 2022, serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. The initial shockwaves of the invasion were felt not only in Ukraine but across the globe, as nations watched in horror and disbelief. This conflict, rooted in historical grievances and geopolitical ambitions, has become a proxy war between Russia and the West, with far-reaching global implications. The stakes are high, as both sides vie for influence and control, drawing in allies and resources from around the world. The conflict has not only devastated Ukraine, but has also disrupted global energy markets, exacerbated food insecurity, and heightened tensions between nuclear-armed powers. The ripple effects are felt in everyday lives, from rising gas prices to shortages in essential goods, illustrating the interconnectedness of our modern world. The historical context of the conflict is essential to understanding its complexity. Ukraine's past is a tapestry of conquests, alliances, and cultural shifts, each layer adding to the current tensions. Ukraine's historical ties to both Russia and Europe have created a deep-seated cultural and political divide within the country. This divide is evident in the contrasting loyalties and aspirations of its people, some of whom look to the West for a future of democracy and integration, while others feel a strong connection to Russia. Russia's desire to maintain its sphere of influence and prevent NATO expansion eastward clashed with Ukraine's aspirations for closer ties with the West. This geopolitical tug-of-war has only intensified the conflict, as each side seeks to assert its dominance and protect its interests. This clash of interests ultimately led to the current conflict. The world watches with bated breath, hoping for a resolution but bracing for the possibility of further escalation.
The Middle East remains a region perpetually on the edge of conflict. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, with its deep historical roots and seemingly intractable nature, continues to be a source of instability. Iran's nuclear ambitions and its support for regional proxies further complicate the situation. The involvement of global powers, seeking to protect their interests and influence in the region, adds another layer of complexity. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, despite decades of diplomatic efforts, remains unresolved. The core issues of land, security, and recognition remain sticking points. The ongoing cycle of violence and mistrust makes a lasting peace seem elusive. The lack of a resolution to this conflict fuels regional instability and provides fertile ground for extremist groups.
The South China Sea has become a focal point of geopolitical competition between the United States and China. This vast expanse of water is not just a crucial maritime route, but also a region rich in natural resources, making it highly strategic for both nations. China's assertive territorial claims and its island-building activities in the region have raised concerns among its neighbors and the United States. These activities include the construction of artificial islands, which are then fortified with military installations, further escalating tensions. The potential for a conflict over Taiwan, a self-governing island that China claims as its own, adds another layer of complexity. Taiwan's strategic location and its democratic governance make it a flashpoint in the broader US-China rivalry. China's growing military power and its economic influence have emboldened its assertive stance in the South China Sea. The modernization of its military, including advancements in naval and missile technology, has shifted the balance of power in the region. China's claims to almost the entire South China Sea, based on its 9-dash line, are disputed by its neighbors and are not recognized under international law. The International Tribunal at The Hague ruled against these claims, but China has continued to assert its dominance. China's construction of artificial islands and military installations in the region has raised concerns about its intentions. These developments have led to increased naval patrols and a heightened military presence by other nations, aiming to counterbalance China's influence.
Section 5, the Hermit Kingdom's nuclear threat. North Korea's nuclear weapons program and its ballistic missile tests pose a serious threat to regional and international security. North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons, despite international sanctions and condemnation, has raised concerns about its intentions and its willingness to use these weapons. North Korea's nuclear tests and its development of long-range missiles capable of reaching the United States have heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula. The international community has imposed sanctions on North Korea in an attempt to curb its nuclear program, but these sanctions have had limited success.
Section 6. Forgotten Conflicts, Africa and South America. While the focus is often on major geopolitical flashpoints, numerous smaller conflicts simmer in Africa and South America. These conflicts, often rooted in ethnic tensions, resource competition, or political instability, can have devastating consequences for local populations and can spill over into neighboring countries. In Africa, conflicts in the Sahel region, the Horn of Africa, and the Great Lakes region have displaced millions of people and caused widespread humanitarian crises. These conflicts are often fueled by poverty, inequality, and weak governance. The involvement of external actors, including terrorist groups and neighboring countries, can exacerbate these conflicts.
Section 7. The Silent War. Cyber warfare and global instability. Cyber warfare, a relatively new form of conflict, poses a significant and growing threat to global stability. The ability of state and non-state actors to disrupt critical infrastructure, steal sensitive information, and spread disinformation has the potential to cause real-world consequences. Cyber attacks can target essential services such as power grids, financial institutions, and communication networks, causing widespread disruption and economic damage. The increasing reliance on digital technologies makes societies more vulnerable to cyber attacks.
Section 8. Great Power Competition, a New Cold War. The actions of global powers, particularly the United States, China, and Russia, play a significant role in shaping the dynamics of global conflicts. The competition for influence, resources, and strategic advantage among these powers can exacerbate existing tensions and create new flashpoints. The relationship between the United States and China has become increasingly tense. The two countries are locked in a strategic competition that encompasses economic, technological, and military dimensions. The trade war between the US and China, the competition for technological dominance, and the disputes in the South China Sea are all manifestations of this rivalry.
Section 9. The Specter of Global Conflict. The question of whether the current global conflicts could escalate into a third world war is a complex one. While the risk of a direct military confrontation between major powers remains relatively low, the potential for miscalculation, unintended escalation, and the involvement of non-state actors creates a dangerous dynamic. The interconnectedness of the global system means that regional conflicts can quickly escalate into larger conflagrations. The involvement of major powers in these conflicts, either directly or through proxy forces, increases the risk of a wider war.
Section 10. A glimmer of hope. Despite the numerous challenges and risks, there are also reasons for hope. Diplomacy and international cooperation can play a crucial role in preventing conflicts from escalating and in finding peaceful resolutions to existing disputes. The international community has a shared interest in preventing large-scale conflicts. International organizations, such as the United Nations, can provide a forum for dialogue and mediation. International treaties and agreements can establish norms and rules of behavior, reducing the risk of miscalculation.